Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Now, today's video is a bit different from the past tier lists and such because I'm going to be going over some of y'all's hot takes. And let me tell you, some of these are like really hot takes. So I guess without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right on in. Our first hot take is from Bruh in the Backrooms, and he says that Poppy has a valid reason for ditching us every time there's trouble because she's literally 1 foot tall. And I'm going to be honest, yeah, I agree with this. This makes total sense because like, she's 1 foot tall. What is she supposed to do against, the prototype or insert huge character here? Like, you could kick her like a football, bro. She's tiny, right? So what is she supposed to do against a prototype? Like, this comment makes total sense. However, that still don't mean I want her to ditch us. Because, like, yeah, you might not be able to do anything, but, like, you couldn't do anything before, Like, you have all these like, big plans, to, like, defeat the prototype and all of its jazz. But, like, at least show your support by not ditching us, So, I kind of agree with your hot take, but like 75% agree, 25% don't agree. So that's my thoughts on it. Next up, we have a hot take from Barbecue Sauce W3V, and he says that it would have been better as a TV show. Now, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you. Now, if they like release a TV show now, maybe it would be cool, but to start off Poppy Playtime as a TV show, it just wouldn't work, Because like, I feel like the thing that made Poppy Playtime special, I guess, was just like, we didn't really know it, we didn't really understand it, But in a show, you're probably going to have to explain some of those things, right? Like, you couldn't just end off a show like they ended off chapter 1 or chapter 2 or 3 or insert chapter here, right? You couldn't really end off a show like that, and you couldn't really turn, I guess, like, if you put all the chapters together and made it like one show, then maybe, but like, if you did each chapter as a season, it wouldn't really work. So, would it be cool to see Poppy Playtime as a show? Maybe, but would it have been better? I don't really think so. Next up, we have a comment from Ash Waste Nomad, and they say that the fact that it did not end at 5 is a good thing. And I'll be honest, I kind of agree with you. It's 50-50 on this one, because on one hand, yeah, I'm glad we're getting more Poppy Playtime. I'm glad we're getting to see these characters and more characters again, But on the downside is that, like, they kind of tease chapter 5 as, like, the last chapter just for it not to be, Like, if we knew chapter 5 wasn't the last chapter, then yeah, it would be all fine. But the thing is, it really felt like they were playing chapter 5 off as, like, the last chapter. There's no more after this, just for there to be more after this. So I'm glad it didn't end at 5, but I'm also, I'm glad it didn't end at 5, but I'm mad that they teased it like it was ending, I guess you could say. And I feel like a lot of people would agree. So it's not really a hot take, more like a lukewarm take, I guess, but I do agree with you. Next up, though, we have a comment from Ruzzy Gamer 1862, and they say that the prototype saved us multiple times. And I'm gonna be honest, what are you talking about? Maybe in like chapter 2, I guess, when Mommy Longlegs was up in the grinder. But like, other than that, what are you talking about, dude? Like, the prototype literally killed the player in chapter 5. Spoiler warning, I guess, but like, what do you mean they saved us multiple times? They literally stabbed us and murdered us in chapter 5. I guess if this was like, if you commented this in like chapter 2, then maybe, but like chapter 5, like, what are we doing, man? I'm sorry, I just can't agree with this hot take. Moving on, though, we have a comment from Cooler Glazer, and they say that the prototype should have kept Catnap alive. And honestly, I low-key agree, all right? The Catnap had so much aura and was such a scary villain and stuff. The prototype should have kept him alive, right? Like, it would have, imagine how cool it would have been in, like, chapter 6, the final chapter, maybe, if a prototype brings back Catnap. You know how crazy that would be? It would be so peak, but, I guess the prototype killing Catnap also kind of plays into the story and stuff, so I agree with you. It would be cool to see Catnap come back, but that wouldn't be cool to see them undo his death. And I feel like keeping him alive would have, kind of made some story, whatever, I feel like him accepting his fate and dying kind of helps the story a little bit more than it would have if he stayed alive. Now we have a comment from TGE Stupid Cat, I think is how you say it. And pretty much what they said is that Doey isn't as strong as the prototype, because if he was as strong as people make him out to be, then the prototype wouldn't be alive. So, you can read it on screen, pretty much all of it say, but I 100% agree with them, because everyone in the fandom glazes the hell out of Doey. Now, Doey is the GOAT, all right? Let's be real. Doey is the GOAT. However, he's not stronger than the prototype, because the prototype's still alive. If he was stronger than the prototype would not be alive right now. Now, maybe he's as strong as the prototype, right? Because he encountered a prototype and made it out alive. But there's no way he is stronger than the prototype. And also to take into consideration, only one of them is dead, and that's Doey. let's get into our next hot take by Rhodes Stitt. And they say that Doey is still alive because of the fact that he is dull and you cannot fully get rid of him unless you completely shatter him in every direction to make sure that they cannot get to each other when they defrost or freeze him forever. I don't see how he's dead, pretty much. Now I'm gonna be honest. He isn't immortal. I'm pretty, like, Doey isn't like, you know, Venom or anything like that, right? Like, like, there's still, I don't know how to explain this. Like, in Doey's, like, aggro form, right? You see, like, 3 little heads. And I'm pretty sure those are, like, the heads of the people, you know, used to create Doey, or the people, you know, Doey ate. So I'm pretty sure there's still, like, organs and all that kind of jazz, right? I'm just pretty sure the outside. I could be completely wrong. I could be 100% wrong right now. But, like, logically, I guess, that's how I kind of see it. So, like, yeah, he's pretty durable and dull and stretchy and all this jazz, but, like, he's not invincible. Even though, I don't know, he can't stretch a lot and all that jazz. But, like, I'm saying, pretty much what I'm saying is he could stretch, he can do all this crazy stuff, but, like, he's still killable, right? He's still, I guess, a living thing, maybe? I don't know. Now, is Doey still alive? Probably not. I highly doubt Doey's alive, right? It would be crazy to see him back, but I'm pretty sure he is not alive anymore. So, decent, I guess, hot take. Next up, though, we have probably the hottest take in the entire video from gold_G2 GT200. And they say that chapter 3 sucked. I think it was okay in general. Now, that is an insanely hot take, right? Because I'm pretty sure everyone thinks chapter 3 is the best chapter in the game, right? You get Catnap, you get Mr. Light, you get all the crazy stuff that you get in chapter 3. I low-key, like, this is a crazy hot take. It's a crazy hot take. Now, I wonder why. I want to know why you think chapter 3 sucked or was okay in general. Because this on its own is crazy. It's a crazy hot take. But, like, why do you think it sucked, you know? Everyone else thinks it's pretty good. So why do you think it sucked? Comment down below if you're watching the video and let me know. And also, you know, if you're watching the video and you have a hot take of your own, drop it down in the comments because I might make a part 2. So, yeah, drop down your hot takes in the comments down below. Next up, though, we have a hot take from TSNWVKO8, and they say that Poppy Playtime wouldn't exist without Five Nights at Freddy's or Bendy. Now, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, you're kind of right, but, like, in the way that Five Nights at Freddy's wouldn't exist without, you know, I guess it's weird, right? Because you could say that about a lot of things, right? You know, you could say that, like, Mountain Dew wouldn't exist if Coca-Cola didn't get invented, you know, like, they're sodas, but, like, they're kind of different, you know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, you're technically true. If, like, Coca-Cola didn't really get popular, then soda probably wouldn't be popular, which means Mountain Dew wouldn't exist. But, like, I guess how we should put it is that, like, Poppy Playtime doesn't exist because of FNAF, but it probably wouldn't exist without FNAF. So it's a decent, I mean, like, pretty much what you said. So it's a decent hot take. It is a pretty decent hot take. Yeah, I'm gonna say I kind of agree with it, kind of don't. Next up, though, we have a comment from Dan Does Dystopian. They say that Doey is absurdly overrated. Now, this one's also 50-50, I think, because 50% of the fan base glazes the hell out of him. Like 30% of the fan base, you know, hates him, and then like 20% is just like, yeah, he's chill. And I'm into 20%, I feel. So, like, a lot of people glaze him, but, like, a lot of people, like, don't like him, or, you know, I guess underrate him. Not underrate, just, like, normally rate him, I guess. So I do think a lot of people overrate him, but I don't think he's absurdly or any crazily overrated. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. We'll see. And now for our final hot take in the video is a comment from I Don't Know My Name Bro 123, and they say that the Huggy and Kissy relationship felt like it came out of nowhere. They're pretty much saying that the casual player would be pretty confused if they didn't watch the tapes, and then, you know, if you want a relationship in the story, you should let the audience know how they met, how connected they are, blah blah blah. And then they also saying that they should have developed a relationship way sooner. Now, I want to be honest. This is Poppy Playtime, right? The lore is kind of cryptic, maybe, you know, they don't really tell us everything. They kind of hint at things, which I feel like they did this with Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy. I mean, for one hand, they're like the opposites of each other pretty much, right? It's Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy. You know, that's like pretty much implying that they're connected somehow. And then also the fact that they're pretty much the same design except for one's blue and one's pink, right? So that also kind of shows that there's a connection between the two. And then, you know, lastly, I guess, when we saw Kissy Missy for the first time, most people were like, oh my goodness, you know, it's Huggy's girlfriend or insert thing here, right? So I feel like a lot of people, like, I feel like they didn't really need to tease the relationship. Now, if I feel like you're talking about how, like, you know, if Huggy sees Kissy Missy, then he's kind of like mesmerized or whatever, like we saw in chapter 5, and that I kind of see. But other than that, I feel like it was pretty clear how close the relationship was. And that is going to be the end of today's video. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I appreciate y'all watching, but in case you don't do that, in case I don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.